All right. Apologies for the late start this week. Just stuff and thing occurred. Anyway, let's see. So welcome to the weekly review session. 4 reviews up this week, and they're all reviews this week. No impressions. And the first game is Moo Lander. And yes, that is Moo Lander, as in it deals with cows a lot. This game is very proud of its bovine inclusion, let's say, because it bills itself, or is certainly not adverse to billing itself as the world's first Mootrilvania. Yes, that pun hurts every time I have to say it. But be that as it may, this is a side-scrolling action-adventure, freeform action-adventure game. That is to say, if you're noticing the ship on display here, you're not playing as a human figure in terms of your avatar. You're playing as a ship. Specifically, you're a man commanding a ship who's got a very snarky AI, and they banter for maximum hilarity, I'm told. But, in terms of what you're actually piloting, it's different than your usual search action fare. Because with a spaceship, that means you're not confined to the ground, as you can see. Anyway, how this all relates to cows. So, in this, quite frankly, the story is very bonkers. Let's put it, I think that's a good way of putting it, because apparently your civilization is powered by milk. And you have so thoroughly exhausted the cow supply that you have currently, or something like that. It's very goofy and hard to pay attention to, if I'm being honest. The point is, you need to find cows and milks in order for your civilization to survive. But the thing about the cows that you encounter in this game is they're not your ordinary bovines. Oh, no. They're super cows who have a bone to pick with you. They're the bosses of the game, basically. And you have to use your weaponry, your non-lethal weaponry, in order to subdue them. And that bit is where the whole Metrovania part comes into play. As when you start, you don't have anything. You don't have any attacks, defense, anything. And as you go through the game, you will get 3 types of not necessarily weapons, but items. It's like you do get offensive weaponry. That's actually the last weapon type to come along. What they call the lethal weapon set. That's your shooty, bang, cannons. The electro bomb is your first item, which is your non-lethal weaponry. That's what you use to subdue the cows. And finally, you've got your defensive stuff, which the first item of which is a shield. And, that all plays out in fairly typical Metrovania fashion, like Petty's displaying the shield here. And
shield definitely looks like it's actually made out of milk or something.
That is exactly what it's made out of. That is a milk shield. Because milk not only is the sustaining force of your civilization's life, it is the not necessarily the fuel. I didn't notice the milk counter going down just by existing. It's like it is the substance that powers all your weaponry and stuff, and your shield. And occasionally you will see milk fountains, which will allow you to replenish your milk power, let's say.
Yes, this is how milk works.
Now, all in all, this is a lot more puzzle focused than I was expecting. At least the initial stuff. I will admit, I did not get too. I got to like the second cow boss before getting stuck. The bosses are like the cow bosses are really hard. By the way, just gonna preface that now. But like I said, far more puzzle solving than you'd expect from a Metroidvania. So it has that going for it, along with the other unique characteristics that it has on display. Like I said, if nothing else, this game stands out in a multitude of fashions, not just in terms of its mechanic and setting and, cows, but it's got a pretty good graphical style. That being said, a bit of forewarning here. This is a Unity game. At least I think it's a Unity game. Yeah, I think I saw the Unity logo there. It played pretty unoptimized like a Unity game does. Not the worst I've ever experienced. I could, play this pretty well, but I'm not gonna lie. The load times and the hitches were there. That granted, with Unity, your mileage may vary, especially on the PC, since oftentimes you can usually brute force past some of the more minor Unity issues. That being said, game kind of reminds me of Ori and the Blind Forest in its art style.
Or Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet for me a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that. It's something along those lines. But, maybe not as good looking as those games, but I'd put that down to more a art direction issue. Like, I'm not a big fan of how the cows look in this game, but I get it. Music's pretty good, if a bit nondescript. Like, see, here's another example of the more puzzle-based gameplay, because you're dealing with a fulcrum puzzle. How often does that come up in a Metroidvania game? Like, not saying it's completely unprecedented, but it's not often. Yeah. Also worth noting, this game does have a multiplayer, a neutral player thing, which I did not get a chance to try because we only got the one copy, and this is not necessarily local only, but it's remote play together, which we've had issues with. But it is there. No co-op campaign. It's more PvP combat. You are playing Galactic Moo Ball, basically like a handball, or teaming against wave of enemies. Like, these are side distractions to the main campaign, I'd say, and probably not worth getting the game on its own. I suppose the question that beckons is this game worth the $18.99 that it's asking for? Which is a bit steep, I'll grant you, and a bit of an unusual price point, since you'd expect like $20 or $15, but I think it can justify the price point, given what's, as I said, it stands out in a very crowded indie field. That's not easy to do. I won't say this is like the most common thing we review, not when roguelikes still blight the indiescape, but we've certainly covered a fair few Metroidvanias in our time, and to have something stand out is an accomplishment. You know? Any other questions, comments, or concerns about Moo Lander here?
I think I'm good.
Yeah, nothing particular. It looks interesting. I'm somewhat, even though it was established early in this thing, it still throws me off a little that you're not actually playing as a cow. But
like I said,
I guess you're one of those cow abducting aliens.
Basically, you know, you need to abduct cows in order to save your civilization. I'm not even joking about that. No.
You know, if you had a little bit better animal husbandry skills, you wouldn't be having this problem.
Anyway, so that'll about do it for Moo Lander here. Be sure to tune in after the break as Petty Fan will be reviewing Flatland Prologue.